Morning, Hopkins Community Church. Coming to you again with a video regarding the leadership structure transition that we are going through. And today we want to talk very specifically about the board of directors. But just a quick reminder: remember that we're transitioning from a current model of elders, deacons, and pastors who are all responsible for their own things, and also who are all a part of the consistory, which is responsible for its own thing as well. And that the board of directors is going to kind of take over for the consistory with the consistory roles, and that the elders, the roles of elders and deacons in particular, are going to be divided out between the two primary roles that they fulfill in terms of sort of oversight of something and care of something, or administration of something and care of something. So we'll talk more about that soon, but and you see also the pastors are in there as well. And remember that this model, we have the board of directors is the sort of top level leadership and accountability and oversight, and then you have elders, pastors, deacons, and then ministry team volunteers. Today we're going to talk specifically about the board of directors. So in our bylaws, there's a description about the board of directors and how they function. But the main thing that is really important, if you can read this, is that they function as representatives of Jesus Christ to the church first, and then representatives of the congregation second. And what that means, and why this is important, is that as we have continued to talk as we move through Scripture, our accountability and our primary loyalty is to Christ first, and then to each other. And right, it's love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So it's important to remember this, that when the board of directors is leading the church, they are responsible to Jesus Christ first, and responsible then secondarily to us as the congregation. And that's just an important distinction to make. The board of directors also serves as representatives of the church in the community, and serves to encourage the mission and ministries, while also seeking to discern God's will for the direction of the church. These are just important things to kind of keep in mind as we think about the function, the way that the board is designed to be. This job description is what we've handed out to each of the folks that we've asked to be on the interim board. We'll talk about that in a moment. But lead, govern, and oversee the business and ministry of Hopkins Community Church. They're trustees of the church. They seek to empower and hold accountable the elders, the deacons, and the pastors, and all the volunteers to serve and to best serve in the ways that God has blessed them, in the ways that God has called them. So what that means, right? They're responsible for executive leadership. They are the top level governance, and they're trustees of the church, which is legally means that they're the ones that can make decisions regarding all of the church stuff from a legal perspective, from a business perspective, because the church functions in our culture and context as a nonprofit organization. They are the ones who can legally make decisions about that. About the church and things like that. So they are also doing oversight of the church in general, and then accountability for the elders, the deacons, and the pastors in particular. That we the pastors, and then the care elders, care deacons, oversight elders, and finance deacons, all are going to be sending regular reports, monthly reports to the board of directors to talk about what we have done, what's been going on, and how we are advancing our goals and continuing to advance ministry here at Hopkins Community Church. And then the board of directors will also be staff oversight. So they almost function as like human resources for the staff in terms of the nuts and bolts of what our job descriptions are. The oversight elders also have theological oversight over the pastors, but we'll talk about that next week. And then communication. Communication is so important, and we don't probably do this enough. The board of directors has decided on a monthly communication. The last Sunday of each month, there will be some form of communication, whether it's written or verbal or whatever, that will just talk about the reports that the board of directors has received, and they will be communicating those reports to the congregation. They're also going to be responsible for congregational meetings, because our meeting, the annual one, and then any informational meetings as well. So the board of directors is comprised of 6 elected members. This is similar to what we do with elders and deacons right now. So 2 members will be elected each year. They'll be elected for 3-year terms, so 2, 2, and 2, moving through kind of in this regular rotation. These come from the missional partners, which is our term for membership. And then you see that the senior lead head pastor role will be the president of the board, and then one member will be elected from the board of directors as vice president to serve as the sort of lead person in the case that the president, the senior pastor, whatever, can't or is unavailable or whatever. So yeah, the current board of directors was selected through a discernment process by the consistory. The elders and deacons that had been serving on the consistory before. 9 names were discerned. We asked all of them, and 5 said yes. 4 said don't feel called to this right now, which is great, good discernment. And so what you see here, Bob Lahr, I'm gonna ask him to stand up too. Bob Lahr, Bob Hinnup, Kathy Athern, Angie Tunison, and Jim Pohl are serving as the interim board of directors. And they're interim board because we haven't elected anybody from the congregation at the congregational level yet at congregational meeting. And so they were selected by the consistory to do the building work. They've committed a minimum of 6 months to this, so they will make it through this calendar year. And then we're going to discuss and discern together how we can create some continuity in this building process and bring a recommendation at the congregational meeting of the congregation voting on and some or all of these folks continuing on as the board of directors in some term over the next at least 1 more year, hopefully maybe 1 or 2 more years, based on their willingness to continue and the congregation's approval. So yeah, I would recommend, if you have any questions about this, a very brief overview, but if you have any questions about this, to talk to them. They're very excited about the role that they're filling right now and excited about where we're headed in this leadership transition, and talk to them about how they see their role and what they feel is really important. Of course, you can come talk to me too. I'd love to talk more about this. That's the board of directors. If you have any other questions or anything else that you're curious about, come talk to me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Next week, we will talk about the oversight elders and begin working through the elders, the deacons, and then finally the pastors at the end of August. So again, thanks for listening. Thanks for giving this your attention. Have a wonderful day.